as successful as you, but you don't see his energy coming your way. Hello ladies, thanks for tuning in. Before we start, please like and subscribe, and don't forget that you can have free chapters of my guide, How to Bag a High Caliber Man in 12 Weeks, simply by checking the link in my bio or in the description box if you are watching the replay on YouTube, and otherwise just send me a DM on Instagram and I will send you the free chapters. How are you guys? So by the way, I have a filter on, okay? Like, I know that sometimes we can get insecure with what we see on social media. Yeah, I didn't look too bad, but I saw this filter and I was like, oh, I look a little bit Asian. So, well, Blasian, if I can call it like that. So I thought, why not? How are you guys? Okay. So today I want to talk about what happens when you when you just met a guy who seems dreamy and all of that, but somehow like you don't really see his energy coming your way. So I try to create more content for successful women, because I know that you can't afford to let down, and yeah. So let me know what are the challenges that you have as a successful woman wanting to date and all of that, so that I'm gonna be able to create more content for you. Okay, and if you can't assist this live session until the end, don't worry, I'm gonna put the replay on YouTube, and my YouTube channel has the same name as my Instagram page, which is High Value Queens. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about is the first sign, and I have one major sign for you to pick up when a guy isn't interested, and later on I'm gonna go over the things that you do, and you know how you are sabotaging yourself when you date. So the first sign that you guys need to pay attention to when talking to men on dating apps is how they initiate. So first of all, if they don't initiate at all and you are the one reaching out, that's not good at all. So you need to understand that a man can match you, and most of the time you're gonna get a lot of matches from men who aren't really into you, but they still swipe right. I believe on Tinder or whatever apps you use, when you swipe right, it means that you like the person, right? So yeah, he will swipe right if my wig. He will swipe right just to not close his options, you see. But it doesn't mean that he's super into you. And I know that for us women it's different. Like when we swipe right on a man, it means that I like him. Well, you don't know him, but yeah, it means that you find him somewhat attractive. But for men, it's not the same thing. They say yes to everyone and then they filter later. Whereas women, they filter first and then they allow whoever. You see, it doesn't work like that. You need to act like men, actually, I would say. So maybe lower your requirements on who you swipe right on, but then you become more picky on who you entertain. Hello babe, how are you? So when I say lower your standards when it comes to who you swipe right on, I mean don't just go for the pretty face, okay? I also like, muscular men who dress well and all of that, but don't just look at that. Look at the signs of wealth. If you see signs of wealth, like, I don't know, he travels to Mykonos, he looks groomed and all of that, and maybe he left his job title. Some men who are successful, they might not leave their job title on their profile, but yeah, I want you to go for the one with a nice lifestyle, okay? Don't just go for the man who has abs. I love abs myself. I love muscular men, but it doesn't pay the bills, okay? And I know that women sometimes they think, with him it's okay, like even though he doesn't make much, he's hot and all of that, so I can still entertain him for a while. Like I have a friend like that. That's what she did, and now she's pregnant. You see, so no, don't just go for the pretty face. If he has a pretty face, it needs to come with a nice bank account as well, not just a pretty face alone, because this doesn't pay bills. Actually, you should be turned off by men who have a pretty face but no money. Okay, it's a massive turn off. So this is the first thing that I wanted to mention. Like, so yeah, refrain from initiating with the men who match you but who don't initiate. They need to initiate first. And I really want you to understand, and that's something that I always teach to my student, the first few interactions aren't there for you to project and all of that. They are for you to see how much of his type you are. You see? So this is how you're gonna know if you are his real type. First of all, you're gonna watch him initiate, and the second thing you're gonna do is that you're gonna see how he initiates. You see? And I've heard men talk about how women initiate. Most of the time they say hello or they send an emoji and all of that. But yeah, you should not be initiating, first of all. And the other thing that I want to say is, yeah, watch how he initiates with you, and you're gonna see that a guy who's not interested will send you like random emojis. This is the sign that you're not his real type. You are attractive. You see, when he initiates like that, it means that you are attractive in your own league. So let me give you an example. So for example, for myself, I'm black, I'm fit, I have a muscular bum and all of that. So a lot of men consider me attractive, will say that, yeah, I have a hot body and all of that, but I won't be their real type, because their real type might be more a woman like Emrata. So you see, white, skinny, with boobs and all of that. You see, we are in different leagues, but if his real type is a woman like Emrata and not, a woman like me, then he's gonna do something small, like, hey, hi, just the emojis, but he won't think, oh, okay, with this girl, with Eunice, I need to put in the work. Okay? And I know that it's annoying, you see, when you find him attractive and you got some sort of validation, like with his first message. But yeah, I really want you to ignore men who send you emojis, because it's not that they are low effort. It means that they think that with you they won't put in much effort because you aren't their real type. They're gonna put in effort with their ideal. Okay, you really need to understand that men have a type. And you need to stay on this live, actually, because I'm going to explain something that happened last week, I believe. Okay? So, yeah, that was the first thing. Yeah, sorry, I usually try to take notes, because otherwise my videos don't have structure and YouTube doesn't like that. And yeah, so the other thing that I want to talk about is something that I did last week. So I don't know if you watch my stories, but do you remember me sharing a profile of a guy, and he was making good money, he was kind of good looking and all of that, and I said, yeah, I'm helping him look for a girl. Yes, it's Xiho is asking if the live will be saved. Yes, I'm gonna put it on YouTube, and you're gonna have the replay on Monday. Okay, I'm so sorry for your internet connection. Try to restart maybe your phone, or change room. Sometimes it works like that when you do that. Okay, so I want to go back to that story. So you remember that attractive guy that I posted on my story, and I said, yeah, I'm looking for a girl for him. So the girl his ideal was Eva Mendes. So it meant that if you were a Latina, you had a higher chance. And I also said that he was in Paris. I said he's in Paris, so you need to be either in Paris as well, or at least in Europe. Those were my requirements. And you know what happened? So many women who didn't fit the guidelines, they still DM'd me. Some of them lived in the States. Some of them were blonde. Some of them were black. And, my guideline was clear. I said his type is a Latina, and you need to be in Europe, or you need to be in France, or at least in Europe. And so many women still tried, but you need to understand that not everyone is for you. You don't have to decide if it's for you or not. If you have clear guidelines like that, you need to respect them, you see. And that's how I understood that a lot of women actually try to force things even when it's clear for them that the guy isn't for them, but they still want to try it because he looks good on paper. It doesn't work like that. You need to release control, you see. If he's into women who if he says that if I say that his ideal is Eva Mendes, and then I say if you are a Latina you're gonna have higher chance, and you send me your profile knowing that you are black, you see, he's not for you. And earlier I said that men had a real type, and you know what I did today? I went on his Instagram page and I had a look at the women he follows, and I guarantee you, all the women he follows looks like the girl that I selected for him, and I sent him the picture. So I received a bunch of applications, and then I selected the best profiles based on what he told me. And the woman that I selected for him looked like the women he was already following. And this is a clear example of what I'm saying. Men have a real type. You see, you need to discover that. Are you their real type or not? And also what I want to mention is that, yeah, I gave myself an example as an example when I said, yeah, I'm black, fit, and you know, with a squat butt and all of that. So if he's more into women like Emrata, I might not be his type. But it doesn't have to be about the skin color. You see, some men will only go for black women, even when they are big, small, or whatever. But their thing is like, you know, black women. Others are more into blonde women. That's something that I saw a lot, actually, blonde with boobs. And some men won't care about the boobs, but like, yeah, they have somewhat of a type. So it doesn't have to be about the hair color or the skin color, okay? But I just want you to understand that men have a type, and you might not know it immediately, but you're gonna be able to read immediately if you are their real type or not. Okay? So yeah, that was something that I wanted to mention. And another thing that I want you guys to stop doing is stop looking for men who are difficult to see. By difficult to see, I'm not saying that, he never talks about meeting. By that, I mean dating men who aren't in your city. You see, stop doing that. Okay? Try to have at least one date a week, and to do so, you're gonna have to be dating men who are in your city. There is no shortage of men. I know that on the spot you can feel like, yeah, but I live in a small city. There is no attractive men in my city, but you don't know. You haven't met everyone in your city. You see, release control a little bit and try to make it easy for you to have, you know, an easy love life. And I'm mentioning that because, again, when I shared the profile of this guy, so many women from the States, or even from other cities than Paris, other European cities than Paris would apply. And yeah, I said in the offer, yeah, if you are from Paris or from Europe, it could work. But my ideal for him was someone from Paris, because my goal is to see you win. My goal is to see you have at least one date a week, you see. And of course, if he's in Paris and you're in London, yes, meeting you will be possible, but it won't be easy for you to have at least one date a week. And I want you to have one date a week because I don't want you to waste time with men. Okay, so yeah, focus on men who live in your city. And there is something that you need to know as well, because sometimes let's say you live in London, and you match a guy who is not in London, but you know that's gonna come to London. So I want you to know what men do. You see, on dating apps, you have the ability to buy, you know, a premium account. And you know what? Men buy that they subscribe to the premium offer, not even to have more matches. It doesn't change much for them when they get that. They get the premium membership because it allows them to match women who aren't in their city. So here's what they do. Let's say they know that they're gonna have a business trip in London. A month before, they're gonna start looking for women in London, so that because they know that it takes them some time, to have a match. So they need to anticipate things. So what they're gonna do is that they're gonna buy they're gonna join the premium thingy to look for women already in London, so that when they arrive, they already have dates. Okay, this is what men do. Okay, and they aren't thinking, oh, I'm gonna look for my wife when I do that. You see, it will certainly be a casual hookup. I'm not saying that they can't fall in love. It can happen. It happened to me actually. It happens, but that's not their main goal, first of all. And also what I want to say is that you need to have some serious game. Okay, if you are serious about dating a man from abroad, and it can happen, like if you live in a low income country, I can understand that this can be one of your strategies, but you need to have some serious game. Okay, or maybe you live in New York and you dream of relocating in Paris, or you love French and that French American couple is a dream and all of that because it looks chic and all of that. In that case, yes, it can happen, but yeah, you still need to have some serious game. Okay, you need to know how men fall in love. You need to have a strategy in place, and that strategy is not sex. Okay, you won't win him over through sex. It's gonna be a nice souvenir for him, but that's not how you're gonna win him over. So yeah, this was basically what I wanted to share with you. So to recap, I want you to be good at, I don't have my glasses, so I was reading what was on screen. So yeah, I want you to be good at spotting men who are truly into you early on, especially when you use apps. It's super easy to tell. They're gonna put in effort in the way that they approach you. Okay, a man who finds you particularly attractive and you are also his real type, he's gonna put in effort in the kind of messages he sends you to introduce himself to you. And seeing him won't be hard. Like in less than a week, you're gonna have a date. Okay, there is that. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about today is that I wanted you to stop making finding love hard. The dates for you on my story. It was fun to do actually, but it was also super exhausting because I received so many applications, and then I had to filter everything, talk with the lady, send him the profiles and all of that. It was fun. I enjoyed being a matchmaker, and yeah, I will try doing it more often. And by the way, if you follow me and you're a guy, you can send me your profile, but the prerequisite is that you need to be a provider. Okay? You need to be a provider and share the traditional values that my girls have, and then I will be able to share your profile. Okay, ladies. Do you have any questions regarding dating successful men? Do you have any friction when it comes to dating as a successful woman? If you are watching this live, the replay of this live on YouTube, please drop a comment. What did you think of what I shared? Is it something that you knew already? Was it new information for you? Hi guys. By the way, I'm loving azelaic acid. So if you follow me on Instagram, you know, well, on my stories, you know that I talk a bit about acne, my skin condition, and all of that. And 1 or 2 weeks ago, I went to Aromazone, which is a store in France here, where we have a lot of natural products where you can do your own hair products, skin products, and all of that. And I decided to try azelaic acid for the first time, and I'm loving it. Normally, like my T-zone shines a lot, but today it was better than before, and I'm feeling like it's working. I've heard that you start to see some serious results after 4 weeks. And I believe it has been almost 2 weeks for me, and I'm really liking it. I was afraid to work out, but no, I'm thriving. So yeah. And I also found an amazing plastic surgeon. Thank you, Sari. But I also want to let you know that I have a filter on. Okay, I don't look like this in real life, and I want to keep it real with you. And I also want it to be empowering for you, because it's okay to show up however you want. You see, when you don't feel like it, like I'm confident in my skin, I'm beautiful and all of that, but that filter made me look different, so I said, why not? I thought, why not? Okie dokie, ladies. Well, hi, ladies. Well, we are done with the live session, but don't worry, I'm gonna put, oops, I forgot to add the title. Okay, let me just pin this comment so that more women can join. So I was on a date last week, and the guy said that he was the romantic type and loves buying flowers, but he hasn't sent me any flowers yet. Are men only romantic with women who are their type? So he needs to like you. He needs to like you, but at the same time, you also need to force the connection. So I have a question. Like, has he done anything at all for you with the thing that I said? Like, has he done anything for you? Maybe he didn't get you flowers, but maybe, I don't know, he sent you a cab. You see, some women actually ask for flowers, but I feel like flowers are something that you need to think about on your own. Like, that's not something that I believe I should have to ask for, but some women do it. So you can try. Oh, I wonder, like, next time it talks about seeing you, you can say, oh, I'm excited to see the flowers you got me. And this is great because you're gonna see how it is, because a man who is cheap is gonna kind of, I'm not sure of having the right word right now, but it's gonna kind of make it sound like he thinks that you are joking. So he's gonna send a funny emoji, like, a face that is like reversed, and that is smiling, like, you see, something like that, so that you can change, so that you guys can talk about something else. So this is a sign that you won't get anything. And another thing that they do sometimes is that they're gonna say something like, oh, so I barely know you and you already expect flowers. You see, if you hear things like that, he's not the provider you have in mind. Okay, But I also want to make sure that the guys that you guys are dating and all of that make enough for two. Because a man who, well, flowers aren't that expensive anyway, but like if you want consistent gift and you want good gift, he needs to make good money, you see. And I just realized that for some women will say things that, oh, he's a great guy, but like they're gonna say that because he's making breakfast for them. Um, yeah, he's making breakfast for them. Sometimes, he gives them a massage, stuff like that. He does cute things that are free, basically. So for they're gonna fall for them. Whereas women like us, women like with standards, and who know what they can expect when they date. We expect the extravagance. You see, we don't just expect him to cook or to hold our hands. You see, we have higher standards and we expect more. We expect quality gifts, we expect nice trips and all of that, nice restaurants and all of that. And most women that I see actually aren't like that. They're gonna feel like, yeah, this is the best guy ever if he cooks for them, if he play video games with them, stuff like that. Those small things, like in high school, basically. Okay, ladies. Well, the replay will be on YouTube once again, and thank you so much for tuning in. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.